What it is, what's happening YouTube? It's your boy Srtfied, and I'm back with another banger for you guys. Y'all already know what's up. If this is your first time tuning into this channel, welcome to Srtfied Official. But do me a favor, go and smash that subscribe button. You know why? Because it don't cost me nothing. Don't cost you nothing. Just click that red button for me. So I'm gonna dive straight into this thing because y'all already seen it on the thumbnail. Got the hood open right now. I'm gonna make this Bronco go psh anytime I let off the throttle, and that's with the Turbosmart blow-off valve. But before we actually get into that, first, as y'all see right here, I'm gonna just give y'all a quick close-up right now. This little hood prop right here is super annoying. I really wish Ford would have put some hood struts from the factory on this thing. I mean, as much as these things cost, that's the least we could have asked for, and it makes it so much easier for you to work on these engine bays. Engine bay is not the most prettiest thing, but nonetheless, I will say that it's super easy to work on these because everything is very accessible. But before we get this Turbosmart blow-off valve installed, we're actually going to install the MRT hood struts to be able to keep this bad boy right in here without ever having to use it again. Just pop the hood, open it up, and the hood is held open by those struts. So let's get into it. So these are my parts right here. These are the MRT hood struts. This is a no drill system. It literally just came with these two struts right here and these 4 brackets. You're going to be utilizing the existing screws that are on the actual hood and on the frame of the car to actually mount everything, and then you pop these struts in these little socket balls or whatever they're called. You just literally, oh, I'm dropping the stuff, but you literally just align this little hole right here with the little poppet and you press it in, and that's it. It's really easy to install, which I'll show you here in a second. And then of course, here's your Turbosmart blow-off valve. It's the compact EM series dual port. Let me not make sure I lose this O-ring right here and put it back in its groove where it's supposed to go. But yeah, I'm gonna show you guys what it sounds like after we get everything installed. It's gonna sound super dope for anybody that drives or has driven turbo cars. One of the biggest things that us car enthusiasts love about turbos is that blow-off valve sound. It's not going to add any performance or anything like that. It literally just gives it that whoosh sound anytime you let off the throttle. So let's get this install going. So the beautiful thing about these MRT hood struts, the brackets actually have stamped labels on them to let you know which side that you put the actual brackets on, so you can't mess this up. And obviously anytime you get any type of parts where they say left or right hand side, if it's left hand side, it's from the driver's position's view. So this bottom bracket right here, which is the piece that goes on the bottom, this one screws in right behind where you see this little nut at right here. I'm not sure if the camera can really make it out, but there is a nut right behind this little fuse box right here in this area that you screw out. You don't screw it all the way out, but you screw it out enough to where you can slide this piece right behind the bracket. And then the other 2 brackets, or the other main bracket for this side, goes into the actual hood itself. So the reason why I taped it off right there is because when you take these bolts off, this hood can actually shift down, so you want to make sure that you have your alignment back right. So but yeah, you definitely, if possible, have somebody help you out with this. But if you're doing this by yourself, make sure you only do one side at a time. All right, but make sure you tape this off so you can make sure that your alignment is back right before you tighten everything down. But the size of this is a 13 millimeter, and same thing for this one inside here is also 13 millimeters. So let me get these things installed and I'll show you guys the end result before we actually mount the struts. All right, so we got this bracket on right here. Just make sure that the bracket is underneath this little lip right there. And then we got this one just slightly snug enough to where I still have play, but I just wanted to show you guys what I meant by when you take the screws off that it's actually shifts. So again, make sure you use the tape marks to align everything back up before you snug everything back down. All right, we got this side pretty much wrapped up except the hood struts, obviously. So we'll get to the next side. So the other side is actually the same up here, except down here, there's a bolt right beside, underneath this little washer tank. You can see it right here. this little piece right there. You take that bolt, don't take it completely out, just enough to where you can slide that bracket behind it. And then the same process for up here on the actual hood bolts itself. And then it's time to check the alignment. Make sure that before you install the struts, I suggest that you actually close the hood and make sure your alignment is good to go, and then install the struts after the fact. All right, so everything is on. Got the top bracket on, got the bottom side bracket on right here. I don't know if I can really get the camera. There we go. Got the bracket on. Same with the other side. Just a quick note, I had to take the fuse box cover off when I was doing the bottom bracket. I know I failed to mention that at first. The reason why is because this little clip right here was getting in the way, because you cannot reach that little bolt over there with an actual socket. You have to use an open end 13mm box wrench in order to actually get to that. So yeah, this little bugger right here was getting in the way, but everything is on. Before we actually pull the tape off, we're actually going to do an alignment check. I'm going to, come on now, here we go. And we're going to close this thing and see if everything's good to go. That side looks good, and that side looks good. It locked fine. It didn't sound like it was binding or anything. So now it's time to install the shocks. So another thing that I love about MRT is the fact that they ensure that you cannot mess this thing up. So the way these struts install is when you're actually reading it, the shock body goes actually to the top to where when you're reading it, it reads the right way on no matter what side you're on. So as you guys can see, the printing is actually done in reverse. So this is obviously the right side, because when you're actually installing it, the shock body goes on top, and this last piece down here gets snapped in on the bottom to where you read MRT on this side. If you were to install it incorrectly, it'll read like this. So just make sure when you're installing it, let me get the other piece right here. When you're installing it, it'll be correct just like that. You literally line this little ball up, give it some pressure. There we go. Boom, that one's in. And the one on the bottom right here is a little bit longer. So you actually have to, and I can't film it at the same time, but you actually have to take the hood prop off and push the hood up to snap that ball in. So you're definitely gonna need 2 hands for that. So I'll show you guys the finished product when we're done. And just like that, we are done. So one thing I want to show you guys is when you put on the actual strut, the top one, real simple to do, but make sure when you get to the bottom one, you do it in front of this little harness right here. All right, you want to make sure that you don't have the harness behind the actual mounting clip or socket, for whatever it's called. I can't think we're straight right now, but make sure that this harness is looping in front of the actual shock body, because when you close the hood, you don't want this to end up pinching any lines or any type of wiring to where you have problems later on. And the same thing with the other side. Make sure that you get this harness in front of this shock body. So you don't have to unclip the actual harness or anything like that. You can literally slide it underneath and pop it in. All right, and just like that, we have hood struts without having to use this little hood prop right here. So I know a lot of people will say, well, just remove it, but I like to keep it there just in case, because sometimes these hood struts over time can fail. So it's nice to keep it there just in case that happens. But just to show you guys, I'm not going to close it all the way, and voila, it opens up actually pretty wide. Now let's get to the fun part. All right, we're going to install the Turbosmart blow-off valve. This is a real simple install. You literally have 3 bolts that you have to remove. Unclip this harness right here, put the new piece on, and you're done. It's literally 5 to 10 minutes at most, but I'm going to show you guys real quick how it's done. All right, so first things first, we're going to take this harness off. That's literally by pulling back on this little tab right here, and then you just gently remove the actual clip off of it. Now there are some little wire harness holders on these little reverse Torx bolts right here that you can literally just pull and slide off. The type of socket that you will need is an E5 reverse Torx socket right here. I don't know if this can focus in, but anyways, it's an E5 reverse Torx socket. So we're going to take this thing off. And just like that, got all the mounting hardware out of it, and then it's time to just pull it off. And that's it. Just make sure that this O-ring right here, make sure you grab that O-ring as well, because the new Turbosmart does have its own O-ring that it comes with. So just for comparison, this is your OEM blow-off valve, and that is your Turbosmart blow-off valve. The build quality on it is way better. I was trying to find a fancy word for it, but way better than the initial one. So, and it actually has quite a bit of weight to it. I wish I had like a small scale, but I would say it weighs maybe a half a pound or gram. I don't even know, but you can definitely feel the difference in weight, which definitely lets me know that this is a much better build quality. But let's get this thing installed. So to install this, it's literally as simple as pushing this bad boy in. Make sure that the orientation of this little purge valve, or the opening right there, is facing down, or whatever side you want it to face. But from past videos and instructions that I've seen, everybody said face it down, so that's what I'm gonna do. So just face that down, and then you just have to align this little bracket right here with the holes. And just like that, everything is installed. One thing I do want to show you guys, because I am very transparent on everything that I do. As you guys can see on the close-up, I ended up scratching it a little bit in this area, and that is because I don't have a deep socket. All right, so make sure if you guys do this, get a deep socket, because this little piece right here where it flares out at was actually getting stuck in this area. So if you guys reuse the hardware, I'm not sure why I can't remember why people were saying to reuse the old hardware. I think the other screws that it comes with are just slightly too big, and you don't want to end up cracking this area right here, because this is all plastic. So that is, I believe, don't quote me on that, but I believe that's the reason why everybody recommended reusing the hardware that came off of the old purge valve. So this right here, make sure you get a deep socket. All right, so just so you don't end up scratching it like I did, but it's not too bad. It's not one of these type of engine bays that you really want to show off, but it's going to get the job done. So the last thing that needs to happen is to connect this little wire right here that we took out from this harness. You literally clip that in, and boom, just like that, everything is clipped in. Now mind you, some people run this thing the opposite way, but then the purge valve will sit towards the top. So make sure if you're gonna orient it this way, the wire is gonna face forward. What I ended up doing, which I'll get some zip ties later, I don't have any right now, but I ended up just tucking the wire right underneath this little braided area right here and just brought it out to the front. But install is complete, so now it's time to see how this bad boy sounds. All right, so as you guys see, it sounds amazing. It gives it that beautiful turbo whoosh sound that everybody loves on turbo engines. I know this is not a race car. I know this is meant just for an added touch, an added flair to the Broncos. So for anybody that's into race cars and stuff like that, look, I love it. If you love it, you love it. If you don't, oh well, but I love it. That's all that matters. But I hope anybody that wants to do the MRT hood struts or the blow-off valve, I hope this video helps you guys out. There's a ton of videos on YouTube that show you guys how to do it. So if there's anything that you guys want to know, feel free to search it on YouTube or hit me in the comments below and I'll answer any questions that you guys may have. But that's gonna wrap it up for today's video, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Srtfied_official. I was about to say my old Instagram name, but Srtfied_official. And don't forget the hashtag salute and certified drip on all your pictures and videos to show love and support to the channel. And until next time, YouTube, I hope y'all have a good day.